Hello everyone. So today I've decided to try something new. It's a Disney cookbook recipe from Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort, Bridgetown Broiler. It's Bridgetown beef fajitas. I'm going to go ahead and try and make half of a recipe. I haven't tried this before, so we'll see how it goes. So first thing we need to do is make the marinade. And for the marinade, we need to cut up, it says 1 bunch of cilantro chopped. So I'm taking a half of the bunch and I'm going to chop my cilantro up. Doesn't say how fine to chop it, so I'm not really sure. I guess we'll just kind of chop it up to what it looks good for a marinade. I don't know. Trying new recipes is always fun. Could be good, could be not good. We don't know. All right, we'll see. Okay. So, I think that's probably pretty good for a marinade. I'm going to go ahead and toss this into my bowl. And then the next thing I'm going to do is chop up, it says scallions. I went to the store and I got some green onions because they're pretty much the same thing. So I've got 4 green onions. I'm not positive how much. It says it's going to be that I need originally 1/4 cup of scallions chopped, so it's going to turn into 1/8 cup. So 4 onions might work for that. I'm not sure. And I'm going to cut all of the ends off of them so that it doesn't have the roots. And then I'm going to go ahead and line them up and start cutting these up. Okay. I'm going to throw them in the bowl as I cut them. Go. Well, maybe I should have measured. I didn't consider that one. It's probably actually more than I need. There we go. For all these tops. I cut up the bottoms and the tops because it's a marinade, so I wanted to give it extra flavor. That's probably about 1/8 cup there. Okay, so I'm going to set those to the side, and then it says I need 1/2 cup of soy sauce, so I'm going to cut that in half. That'll be 1/4 cup. 1/4 cup of soy sauce, 1/4 cup of water. Going to rinse my hands off because they're all covered in the cilantro and onions. Then I'm going to get my water here. Okay, so I'm going to add 1/4 cup of water right here. And then I'm going to add, it says 1/2 cup of soy sauce, so it's going to be 1/4 cup because I'm making a half recipe. The reason I'm making a half recipe is because of the fact that I got the meat and it was only 1 pound. It's supposed to be 2. All right, so 1/4 cup of soy sauce. I'm using the low sodium, but either one will do. And then it says 2 tablespoons of oil. So You need to grab 1 tablespoon. I'll just fill this 1/8 cup halfway so I can get 1 tablespoon a bit easier. I'm going to set that there. Then I need to put in 2 limes, juice of 2 limes. I've already pre-juiced my limes and froze them, so I defrosted that. I don't know. I think it's like 1/4 cup. Not positive. Okay, gonna put that in. And then we need to put in, oh, I forgot to grab my garlic. Just a second. Okay, there it is. Okay, it says 1 clove, so it'll be like 1/2 clove of garlic. And it says to crush it. I don't have a garlic crusher, so I'm just gonna dice it up best I can. And it's 1 clove out. Oh, how many of you love this part? This is always the fun part. Trying to peel that dry skin off of the garlic clove. There. All right, so that's peeled. I'm going to rinse it real quick. Oops. Bumped my dishwasher closed, and it's drying, so it's going to reopen. All right. I'm going to dice this up since I don't have a crusher. And I don't think it's probably going to matter that much since it's just a marinade, whether it's diced or crushed. I mean, if you have, that's probably about half there. If you have a crusher, just go ahead and crush it. So that's what it calls for. Trying to double check my recipe and make sure I've got all of it. It says in a 2-quart bowl, sorry. In a 2-quart bowl, combine soy sauce, water, soybean oil, chopped scallions, chopped cilantro, the juice of 2 limes, and the crushed garlic. Blend well, and then set aside. So that's what we're working on. And then, as soon as this is diced up enough, I will add that to my I will add that to here, to this marinade. So there we go. Gonna add that. Then I need to get my meat. So I'm gonna go grab the meat out of the refrigerator. And well, actually, I should probably mix that real quick and then add the meat. So, mix this up. All right. Now that I've mixed that up, looks like this. So now we go to the top part of the recipe. It says it takes 2 pounds of beef skirt steak. I couldn't find any skirt steak. I went ahead and decided to go with my stir fry that I found. So I'm going to go grab that out of the refrigerator, and I'll be right back. All right, so I'm back. I've got my beef. I just got sirloin steak strips, which says it's good for like stir fry and stuff, so I decided I'll try that. And it says trim skirt steak of any excess fat and cut into 1/4 inch strips, which is already done for me in this way. added steak to marinate. Add the steak to marinate, and we're going to refrigerate that overnight. So, I'm going to take this off. And I have my pound here. This is already trimmed up like it asks for. So that makes it easy, and I can just drop it in here. I don't have to do the work of cutting the meat up, which is nice. I don't know why my store had no skirt steak. That was weird, but it didn't. So when we're done adding all of this, I'm going to mix it up here. And then I'm going to get a Ziploc bag, and I'm going to put it in the Ziploc bag, or you could put it into any kind of container where you can close it up. Could be a glass container with a lid, or a plastic container with a lid, or whatever. And you're going to leave this to sit overnight in the refrigerator. And then we will come back to this tomorrow, and I will tell you the rest of the ingredients and how to finish cooking it. Okay? See you tomorrow at the end of this video. Okay, so this is what it looks like now that I put it into my plastic bag, and that's just going into the fridge overnight. And I will continue this video tomorrow. So it will be at the end right after this. Hi, welcome back. So today is day 2 of the Bridgetown beef fajitas. I'm going to take 1 large onion, and this is to julienne that. So I've already peeled it. I'm going to go ahead and cut the top and the bottom off of the onion. And then I'm going to julienne that. So to do that, you take it and you cut it in half, and then you just go ahead and slice it up into kind of, thinner slices, so maybe 1/8 of an inch or so. So you're going to end up with little pieces littler pieces when you're done. I think I'm doing this wrong. All right, so you're going to end up with pieces like this when you're done. There we go. And you're going to cut the entire onion up because it takes 1 whole large onion for this recipe. When I'm done, I'm going to do the same thing with the bell pepper because it also takes 1 bell pepper julienned. I did not find the color it said. It said a green bell pepper. My store only had red or yellow, so I picked a yellow. So you could do it with any color. Some people hate green, some people hate other colors, so whatever you choose. Oops, it's a little thick. As soon as I get this cut up, then we'll move on to the other part. I'm going to grab a bowl here so that I can throw my onions into it. So I'll have room. And then I think I'm going to cut that again. They look a little long to me, but I don't know. Might be okay. Then we're going to move on to the bell pepper after this. And then we're going to heat the pan up. We want a frying pan. We're going to heat up to the, let's see. How hot does it say? The onions are burning my eyes. Saute for 5 to 7 minutes. Okay, so how hot? Quickly. Okay, heat a skillet with soybean oil, or I'm just going to use vegetable oil, same And quickly saute green pepper and onion until tender and lightly browned, remove from skillet and keep warm. So it doesn't actually say whether it's, so I'm assuming if we're sauteing, it's probably on the higher end, but not totally too high. Maybe like a medium, I think. Medium high. Oh. Okay. So I'm going to cut this pepper and go ahead and pull it so that like this, so I can take the top off easier. There, top's out. All right. Now, here's the thing about bell peppers. Inside, you've got seeds and you've got ribs. If you don't want it to be extremely spicy, you want to get those seeds and ribs out of the inside like that. Any that you leave will be spicy. If you do want spicier, you could leave those. So I'm going to get the rest of those seeds out of there. One easy way to get seeds out is like that. Then I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to make little thin slices of bell pepper. Like these. And when I'm done cutting the whole thing up, then I'm going to heat up my pan. Okay, here's some more. Okay, that half is cut. Next half. There's more of them. Okay. Wonder if there is a faster way to do this. I don't know of one. If you do, you can let me know. All right, so that is completely finished. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this and heat the pan up, and we'll be right back. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and start adding my onions and my peppers to the pan. And it says that we're going to cook these quickly until they are browned up. Quickly saute. So just going to keep adding them until my pan's full of them, and they're all in there. Really, I'm trying to divide these because I didn't do that beforehand. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put this down, and then I'm going to flip it around. All right, so now I'm going to start stirring these up in the pan so we can saute these up. And we're going to keep working until it's browned. That's what the recipe calls for, is browned vegetables. So I'm assuming you're going to see probably more browning on the onion, not as much on the bell pepper. There you go. Just keep cooking those up. I will come back to you when this is a little bit more browned and show you what it's looking like. These are still not browned up yet, but as you can see, they're starting to cook up because they're not so stiff. So just going to keep stirring them. They're on a almost high heat, not quite, more of a medium high. I'm going to keep working until they get browned up. While I was doing this, I did go. Alright, so these are starting to brown up, and I'm going to show you what they look like. While I was browning those, I went ahead and got my tortillas, and I wrapped them in some foil. The recipe here says to put them on a cookie sheet, and put them in the oven at 250 degrees for 5 minutes, but not to let them dry out. And I know that it's going to dry out more on a cookie sheet than in the foil, so that's why I put them into the foil instead. So I'm going to go ahead and switch this so you can see. So this is what my vegetables are looking like right here. And so I think I'm about ready to take them out. It says take them out and keep them warm. So that's what I'm going to do next. So I'm going to get a bowl, and I'm going to stick all of my brown vegetables into the bowl so that I have a place to keep them warm. And I'll probably just stick something like a lid or a plate over the top. Keep the heat in. Because the next thing we're going to do is take this pan and use it for the meat. So we'll set the pan to the side real quick, grab a plate, and stick it over the top of my bowl. And then I'm going to get the meat. It says to drain the meat. So I'm going to go grab the meat and drain it and come right back. Alright, so I've drained my skirt steak. Well, in this case it's not, because I couldn't find it, but my beef. And I'm going to add a little bit more oil so I can keep that from sticking. It says add it to the hot pan. So to drain it, I just took a bowl, put a colander sieve on top, and I'm going to go ahead and add it to the plate, not the plate, sorry, the pan, and then I'm going to start draining these out so that I can fry these up. And it says it will take 5 to 7 minutes to fry these up. So, I'll go ahead and show you what these are like in here real quick. Here's what they look like. I just put them in. We'll come back to these in the end about 5 or 7 minutes from now. I've gone ahead and added my tortillas to the oven so that they'll be heating up while the meat is going. So that way it'll be ready quicker when I'm done with the meat. Alright. Okay, I think these look like they're pretty good right now. So I'm going to go ahead and take these out and put them into my bowl. It says to put it in the bowl with your vegetables that you cooked up. So we'll throw those in there. And it's going to cover it back up. So, I've already pre-grated my cheese as well. So it says here that when ready to serve, serve it family style with shredded aspergillas and guacamole, cheddar cheese, salsa, and sour cream. Fill tortillas as desired. So basically just serve it like this with all your stuff to the side. Everybody can make their own thing. So we'll let you know what I think of it when I'm done. I will try it and let you know. Alright, see you in a little bit. So I just want to let you know I tried the fajitas tonight and they were good. Everyone liked them, so I'll be making those again. Alright, bye. See you again real soon.